I'll finish with what he said last.
You're warming up to join.
Let me finalize with that, so that I may make my thoughts known on what I think about the earthquake. You know, Trevor, earthquakes, the strength of an earthquake is measured by the depth of the craters it causes and the casualties, you know, it causes. And I don't know whether that lived up to the expectation of being an earthquake. But we also have to acknowledge that there are earthquakes which have got aftershocks that may last a long time, and sometimes even those aftershocks could be stronger than the original earthquake itself. Yeah. So maybe it could be somewhere in between there, in following with what Professor Kibwana said. Yeah. Maybe as they move on, we'll see what it will evolve into. But a few things, Trevor. That one, politics is a lot by perception, and perception may change a lot of thoughts and also alliances and persuasion, and for that matter, I would not dismiss the perception that gave to the people of the Republic. Yeah. Probably a few things can happen out of the expected. So I think maybe if that was what the earthquake was about, maybe they could have succeeded in shaping that perception. Yeah. But as it were, Trevor, also give it as it is, for that matter. And I believe always in doing that the way it is. On that day, I think Musalia Mudavadi gave the delivery of his speech in a very unique and good way. Yeah. I mean, he in delivering the speech, forget the content, but he did. For that one, you can give him, and he spoke. And I'm saying that because earlier on, you know, there was a perception about him that you know that came out differently this time. Yeah. That he can be able to express himself effectively, for that matter. So I think for that matter, you know, he may have done what he's supposed to do. He intended to do. The content, probably, you know, some of the issues that he raised would be contradictory, and I don't know whether you followed on social media after that, because there was a barrage of a lot of negations of some of the things that he said, some of them in jest of maybe what he said and what happened, you know, others where he is involved. Some people even raised issues. I'm sure you follow social media, Trevor, you know, about, you know, some issues about his record and what have you, about when he was a local government minister and so on. So those issues arose. The one thing probably that I would mention that I would think outstandingly would be different is the defections of members of parliament from his party. Yeah. And I think it is important that we say it this way, because it's a fact that towards an election, really the influence or impact of sitting members of parliament is not necessarily big as to how they affect the ground. Because by history, Trevor, maybe less than 30% of members of parliament are re-elected. And by the time you get to an election, most of those members are widely unpopular on ground. And most of them would be looking for a quick bus that looks like it can get to the other side of town. You know, so maybe some would be moving from here and riding that bus and looking like they're giving influence, like they're defecting there. But really, it is self-seeking. You know, some of them want to get a quick ride, and the impact they have is not necessarily the way it is. Probably, last 2 points would be this, in my thinking. What would be the net effect of Musalia Mudavadi plus Moses Wetangula joining Ruto? If you look at how the Western region has voted in the past elections, they are very sectoral, such that you find that there are times when they differ between the Kakamegas and the Vihigas and the Bungomas and the others. You find that they vote a lot differently. Maybe, and I said maybe, probably having Wetangula from Bungoma in that region, and then having Musalia from the Kakamega, Vihiga area, maybe if put together, they could mean something. And what I'm trying to drive to is that what might end up being the reality is that it might be a tough race. Okay. It's good to put facts the way they are.
Yeah.
It might end up being a tough race between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, because this would be my thinking. Yeah. You can give Ruto a bit of his foresight thinking, because Oka was always a threat to him.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Oka, in its formation, the way it was, the four of them, if they moved towards the Raila side, it was a big threat to Ruto. Yeah. But, I mean, he's a sniper, as he has shot, because from long range he shot and aimed at Musalia and Wetangula and nailed them. and probably that then could mean some beginning of the death of Oka for that matter. Okay. And in political speak, because it is proper to put things on ground so that when you're preparing yourself for the next step, you know what's happening. I think it's something that as the Mio group would need to look at. Okay. So that finally, when the Kenya Kwanza, and Cherage, you did not tell us, now that we have this new slogan of Kenya Kwanza, what happens to bottom up? You know, you can tell us you're around.
You're now
but you will respond to that.
Yes.
A new slogan they use.
Yeah, yes. Is the bottom up dead? Yeah. And then lastly is to that question that you asked, and I envy your optimism. Because Trevor...
Will you be moving to UDA? Let's ask you that directly.
Trevor,
yes, because I said last...
This question you have asked me so many times.
And you've never answered it.
And I've answered you so many times, my friend.
Yes.
I'm a political... I'm experienced politically.
Yeah.
I've been here for 10 years. So I know my moves, my brother. I've been here and I know how to calculate. Right now, I'm in Jubilee.
Yes.
Right.
And when everybody else moved, you've seen I've been here.
Yes.
Everybody else went away. I'm here. Would you be thinking that I don't know what I'm doing?
So where will you be moving to next?
Why do you expect me to move?
So you
why is it that you think that the only thing I can do is to move?
So you're staying.
This
but
this is
Trevor,
what
but
you're not confirming that you're staying in the long run. In this for the long run.
Everybody runs away. I stay put, and the only thing that you're thinking is that I'm supposed to move.
So you're not moving.
I mean, I can stick. I can stay. Why not?
Okay.
Why not? We can rebrand, we can reshape, we can do things and be in a coalition, because we are going coalition ways. And if we go into a coalition, we can find our space in that coalition.
Okay.
Yes.
Agreed.
But